It's the Shatkin First Down pregame show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associates Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our special guest, Bills alum Rian Lindell. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to another edition of the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin. The Mafia will join us a little bit later. And Rian Lindell will be our special Bills guest this week. He's a native Northwesterner, so he lives in Seattle now. We'll have him on coming up in the next segment. But first, let's go back a week to the Titan game. And we're going to talk about this more with the Mafia, Jared, but I want to start with you as we open the show. I mean, clearly, again, as you're watching the Tennessee game, you're watching the first four drives of the game, you're thinking to yourself, man, what the heck? This is Arizona all over again. And, you know, Tennessee against the Bills defense just gashing them with double-digit plays, whether it be in the run or the pass game with Mason Rudolph at quarterback. Why can't they start well at home against bad teams?
Well, yeah, it definitely is something to do with coaching. I think they're not really getting up for these games when it's a little bit less intensity. But I do want to give some credit to Mason Rudolph. I think he was pretty efficient in the beginning there. They do have weapons around him. So Tony Pollard was running the ball pretty hard. Their tight ends were getting in the game, and it's still the NFL. So any given Sunday, a team is going to be able to, you know, to match up pretty well against the Buffalo Bills. They can match up against any team.
Yeah, that's what worries me, is that they're
yes.
And look, this team has been known for losing games like that, which I guess, you know, if you want to go positive about what happened, it's the fact that they ended up blowing them out in the second half, which is kind of what they did against Arizona. So I guess we can complain about not having a good first half and, air quotes, not being prepared, but to rebound the way that they did and win as convincingly as they did, I guess, is a positive out of all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely is a positive to be able to score 34 unanswered and have the first 300-yard game against the number one passing defense in the league. But you are right. If we start slow like that against a team like Seattle, we're going to be down a little worse early. And, you know, I think that they gotta make some adjustments and get started a little faster. But that second half really showed what this team has the potential to be.
Amari Cooper, let's talk about that. Obviously his first game, and they got him involved right out of the gate. And what did he do? What we were all afraid of happening after hearing coming into Buffalo about his drop issues. He drops the first ball thrown to him, but then again, he rebounds himself very well the rest of the game.
You know, I know we got some moans and groans from the crowd thinking, oh, we just traded for this bum. But the guy was able to kind of put that behind him, and he played a really nice game the rest of the way.
Yeah, for sure. Coleman, obviously a great game for him. And I loved the way that the plays were designed for him, especially on his one big play where basically he just sat down in the middle of the zone. He was wide open for the big play.
Yeah, and I think he's starting to understand defenses and how they're going to play him a little more. And I think it probably helps that there's a little more distraction now on the other side. But he's got a really good feel for the defense, really good yak. And I like the way Coleman played. He's a 20-year-old kid with all the talent in the world. And, you know, if he can be that 50-50 guy, I think that's going to be important now.
The thing also I liked about the pass game, and then we'll move on to the defense quickly, but Cooper, Coleman, Shakir, and Kincaid. I mean, that's probably what you would think their top four receivers are going to be. And they were. Even though there was some extra distribution, those four guys were responsible for the majority of the offense in the pass game.
Exactly. I think that's got to be what it is going forward, because we signed Curtis Samuel, but you know, he's got a little bit of an injury, and I think he's not really showing what we thought we were getting out of him. But we do have a lot of talented players if we go with those four.
And Matt Collins can concentrate a little bit more on what he's really good at, and that in terms of special teams, right? And also, I think the way the pass game worked, they didn't have to rely on the run game as much as they maybe have early on in this season.
Yeah, because they were spread out and there were guys open, and it was pitch and catch instead of Allen getting to the third drop and running around and trying to find a guy. In that second half, it wasn't like that. He was getting the ball off in about 3 seconds and throwing it to the open guy. It looked more like a passing offense that we had with Brian Daboll back in 2021.
It's interesting, switching over to the defense. You know, Von Miller's going to be coming back soon, but Epinesa and Russo have really shown the past couple of weeks.
What's good is you can't really double either of those guys because they have Epinesa on the one side, Russo on the other, and they're really causing a lot of disruption. And I think Epinesa is someone who can really come on strong here at the end of the season and make a push to become even more of an elite player in this defense.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so more on the Bills. We're going to talk the Bills and the Seahawks in our final segment, but coming up next, former Seahawk and Bill living in the state of Washington where he played college football is Rian Lindell, who will join us next as we continue with the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
RV shoppers, Myers RV invites you to shop over 100 brands of travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes from all the leading manufacturers. Myers RV is the largest family-owned RV dealer in the Northeast with over 2,000 new and used RVs in stock. Right now, all remaining 2024 models are being offered at drastically reduced prices. Myers RV has 3 convenient locations in Rochester to serve you. Just a quick trip east on the 90 to save you thousands. Online at MyersRVs.com. Go Bills!
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
This gives me great pleasure, and I'm so happy he, A, remembered me, and B, still had my phone number, and C, agreed to do this. But longtime Bills kicker Rian Lindell joining us for Seahawk Week. Of course, the Bills and the Seahawks playing in Seattle this weekend, and it is so good to see you, man. So you grew up a Seahawks fan, is that correct?
The Seahawks might as well have been. I mean, that was our CBS game, but anyway, long story short, I was kind of a Bronco fan, which is a little embarrassing to say, I guess, rooting for the enemy. I just loved Elway and they were good, when I grew up, and you had 3 channels.
For Bills fans that are watching this, going into the game this weekend, what are people in Seattle saying about the Seahawks? I mean, they have, their wins were against the Miamis and the Denvers of the worlds, and they lost to the 49ers, a bad loss to the Giants. They have a great win on the road against Atlanta. And obviously we don't get the kind of press that you do there. So what are the Seahawks?
Well, I think they're trying to figure that out here too. And they haven't done well against the run. I told that, the other P, obviously they're sports fans. So I said, I don't know. Of course, I'm always, now for the record, I always say this about maybe like all Bills fans or whatever. It's kind of, let's make sure they win. I want to jinx them. So I said, well, I don't know, man. That's a long way to travel, and the Seahawks are good. He said, well, they try to run the ball, right? I said, yeah, we like to run the ball. We do pretty well there. I said, well, we can't stop the run. So I think that's one of their, one PE teacher, I guess, maybe doesn't represent the city, but
right.
But they kind of having trouble in certain areas. I know, you know what I mean? And they just can't really kind of find out who they are, in a sense. I mean, because they've got talent, and they go on these roles, kind of like you're explaining, and the coach comes in, all right, they're 3-0. I think they were 3-0, yeah. And then, not so fast. Let's go back down and let's be 3-3 here. But then this last week, okay, let's go whoop up the Foul. I lost money on that game. I didn't think they'd go down there to Atlanta and beat the Falcons, But then they did. It killed them. Crying out loud. So I think they're trying to figure out kind of who they are and what's working for them, really.
2 more things, and I'll let you go. When you were here, the Sabres were really good. And then they have the longest non-playoff streak in major sports now. So I'm curious what it's like having the Kraken in Seattle, because they've actually been pretty good.
Oh, that's a hot ticket. Seattle's kind of funny like that. They kind of glommed onto it. I don't know how. I hope it stays. I think it probably will. Everybody's fed up. I think they're almost more excited. Maybe this is going sideways on your question, but for the Sonics, because they really miss the Sonics.
Yeah.
And it's in the same arena. And I think that was maybe part of I don't know all the ins and outs of all the politics of it, but I think they built it big enough for a basketball. So that might be for a lot of people kind of the end goal, but they're into it, man. They love them. It was packed house, and it's a lot of fun going there. I went to a game, I guess it was 2 years ago. And that Matty Beniers, he scored his first goal. Matty Beniers. I can see how much I watch him, but they're into him. Seattle loves him. Yeah. No, that's Seattle's cool. A good sports fan.
So last thing, you're wearing your Wazoo t-shirt. Do you keep in touch with Bledsoe? And are you a fan of his wine?
Yeah, it's been a while since I had the wine, but I cross paths with him every now and again at some Cougar events. I guess it's been a little bit. We went to a game. I just saw him at a game, not like we went together, but I saw him, ran into him in a game. Oh boy, was it 4 years ago? Something like that. So that was maybe the last time I saw him. It seems like, well, now he's a celebrity.
I know, right?
He's on these celebrity roasts and all that, right?
Yeah.
He's big time now. But his wine's great though. Yeah, no, it's really good. It's good wine out here.
Super, super expensive, really high end. But I will say this, and you can vouch for it. You get what you pay for when it comes to that wine, right? Yeah, it's good stuff.
No, there's good wine around here.
All right, well, listen, man, I appreciate you as always. And I think if I was going to have you pick the game, I feel like you think the Bills are going to win this game.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I think Bass is going to kick 5 field goals.
Okay,
it's going to be all Bass. What's 15 plus 20, 21? 36. Oh, I got to make sure no Seattleites are listening in. 36. You got to give Seattle a couple of points. They can have fun too. I'll give 2 to Myers to 20. 36-20.
Got it. And will you wear anything Bills this week at school?
Usually I throw a little bill. You know what? I have this one that circles the wagons. Everybody asks, what's the circle the wagons thing you're always wearing? Or that hey, from the song. What's that mean, Mr. Lester? You don't need to know. It's our secret. But but I got my dad a Largent jersey, number 80, because he turns 80. So I'm taking him to the game this weekend. So
cool.
That'll be kind of fun. So I guess we'll be at least have one in our party in Seahawks. But I guess I'll be kind of enemy territory, but I got to wear some Bills stuff, right?
Yeah, you're not going to wear your own. You wouldn't wear your own jersey ever, right?
No, that would be a little. That would be. That's like wearing a Mormon jersey.
That's like wearing the band T-shirt to the concert, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, man. Well, best to your wife and your daughter, and it's been great talking to you, man. And keep being good, man.
Yeah.
Keep being good.
Yeah, you bet, buddy. Good catching up, Bull.
Yeah, we'll talk soon, man.
Yep, you bet.
Thanks.
It's apple picking time. When was the last time you bit into an apple? With affordable Shatkin mini dental implants, you can. Stabilize your dentures and replace missing teeth in as little as 1 visit. You can be you again, only better. Call the Aesthetic Associate Center today at 716-839-1700 for your free consultation.
My self-esteem wasn't where it should have been because I was really, really self-conscious about my teeth. When I walked into Shatkin Dental, I was instantly ready for the residency program. I knew that that is what I needed. I needed the discount. I needed the dentist that was going to fix everything. My self-esteem is already getting much, much, much higher just from starting the procedures.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile for quality dental care you can afford.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Time to go in the pocket. It's a 2-for-1 deal with father and son, Todd and Jared, the Shatkin guys, to talk about Geno Smith. Now, if you didn't know, this guy played quarterback in high school, and you have a record that you want to tell everyone about?
I don't have a record.
At Will South?
You broke the record for touchdown passes and touchdown plays.
For JV, I scored.
It's okay. So what?
Well, you have my dad on the show, so he's.
I think he scored 14 touchdowns in a single game.
No.
Okay. That was in a week.
7.
All right, let's start. Let's not do that.
You played quarterback. You've watched a lot of quarterbacks, right? Obviously, in your time. Geno Smith is now in Seattle. He actually leads the league in passing, and he's got, we're talking about this because it's important, a really good group of receivers, sans DK Metcalf, so that makes a big difference. So Geno Smith is not a guy who's the most active guy, athletic guy, but man, he's a really good pocket passer. I mean, what are your thoughts?
He's been around a while.
Sure he has.
I don't know, what year did he start playing quarterback? He played for the Jets.
Yeah, he sure did. And then he was a starter, then he was a backup, and he was kind of all over the place and found a second home there in Seattle and has done really good things. And, obviously he's to what we just said. He's got Smith and Jigba. He's got good weapons. His backs out of the backfield are good catching the football. His tight end is underrated. I don't think people are talking a lot about Noah Fant at this point. So what do you know about Geno Smith?
Well, I know Geno Smith is not the mobile quarterback, but he is very good at finding space in the pocket, and he's very accurate downfield. And from what I can tell, their offensive line is holding up pretty well, and he's on a bit of a roll. He's got almost 1,900 passing yards already this season, and he's accurate, and he's having a phenomenal season right now.
Yeah, so we'll see what the Bills are going to have to do, and we'll talk more about the matchup with the Seahawks coming up in our final segment. But right now, let's get to the Mafia. Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show, joined by the Mafia. We got Evan back, been here many times this year, Buff State, by the way. Dr. Sam Shatkin, 3-time All-American at something at the University of Rochester.
Fullback.
Did play fullback at U.
Prep All-American.
There you go. Okay, that works. way more of an All-American. I was never all anything. And of course, Mark Aarons is here. Sorry if I scared you.
No,
you good?
I'm fine.
Right.
Old man. But I just want to mention that
yes.
Dr. Sam blocked for me in Eggertsville Snyder Junior football.
No
when
kidding.
We were younger. Yep.
Really? And what was your yards per carry?
I was at least 5.6, I think.
Wow. Wheels.
He
Wheels. He was a good
led
runner.
The way.
Good athlete. Right
Good
there.
man.
I'm going to start with you, Dr. Sam. This sort of home game let down early. I mean, it's the Arizona. As I'm watching the Tennessee game, I'm like, this is the Arizona game all over again. What's going on? What do you make of it?
Well, you know what? I always look at adjustments, I don't understand why teams have to wait till the second half to do adjustments,
Exactly.
If the first two series don't work, find something else to do. And I don't think they did that. And that goes with the defense and the offense. And the defense, I'm surprised, McDermott's supposed to be a mastermind on the defense, and I can't understand why he can't make those adjustments. They weren't putting any pressure on the quarterback. I mean, I don't know. It was pretty obvious to me that they needed to do something.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, for you, I mean, is it bothersome that they sort of play down to these opponents? The Titans are going in with a backup quarterback in that game, and it's a home game.
Yep, we're not ready. It's the coaching staff. It's not the players. It's the coaching staff. We are not ready. Now, the week before, we went right down and scored the first. Well, they had that all planned all week, and that's what they planned. After that, nothing.
Yeah.
And it comes to Shatkin First Down is the only independent pregame show because we can tell everybody who agrees with us the coaches just aren't doing the job.
Yeah, it's frustrating to see that for sure. But again, to flip it over, Evan, credit them for the adjustments because the second half was a whole different game, right?
Yeah, I mean, going into it offensively, they wanted to establish going up early, and they, took the opening kickoff. They went 3-and-out right away. Amari Cooper had that 3rd and 2 drop, and that's going to just negate your offense. And then the next 2 drives, they couldn't get anything on 3rd down because they were going up against the number 1 pass defense in the Tennessee Titans. But then in the second half, you got to credit, McDermott and Joe Brady. I think they really had a nice game plan going into the second half of things. I would have liked to see it in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Agree with all you on that. But they did come out and started running more play action, getting our guys open downfield, and you saw Josh Allen and this offense, really distribute the football, really going to that motto, everybody eats.
What about Jared Amari Cooper? What kind of difference did he show he can make with this team in that game?
So, I mean, he probably only got about 18, 19 snaps, and he still ended up having a touchdown of 66 yards. And you could tell that the defense plays us differently when he's on the field. That's a guy who you're going to have to shade your coverage to. He can beat single coverage. That route he had on the fade ball was a really good separation. He's extremely patient with his route running. And I think it opens up Keon Coleman to not have quite as much pressure as being the number 1 X receiver. I'm excited to see what we can do next week, and I think there's only really good things to come from that.
And the fun thing, guys, of the Keon Coleman-Amari Cooper relationship was on Cooper's touchdown when, Cooper's kind of looking at Keon like, what did Josh just say? What are we doing here? And Keon's basically like, yeah, just go right there. And he did.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he scored.
Absolutely.
I mean,
and he still got open.
Right.
The defender probably knew the route, but
right.
still was able to set the guy up enough to get right inside of him.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. And obviously now we go up against Seattle, and you guys can just kind of throw in your thoughts on this game because Seattle, obviously they come in with a huge win over Atlanta on the road. Now they're back home, tough place to play. Obviously, long road trip for the Bills going coast to coast. Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the long road trip. I never liked those long trips when I used to play, but I think they just got to keep focused. And if they stay focused with the coaches, like you said, Mark, keep them on pace, they'll be okay. They always play well against NFC teams, so I'm not worried too much.
All right, what do you give us a score? Let's do this now.
I say 28-24.
28-24.
Yeah. Buffalo.
Okay, we're going to go now to you, Mark. What do you think of the score?
I've traveled out west for tennis. It's bad. It takes a lot to get in. Hopefully they're leaving 2 or 3 days before. I'm saying 21-20 for the Bills. I wouldn't pick against the family.
All right, Evan.
We know DK Metcalf more likely than not isn't going to play in this game, so that's going to kind of negate the Seattle passing attack. So in this one, Seattle might not score as much without DK Metcalf, so give me the Bills 29-21.
I like it. Okay, now we got to feed you guys, or at least attempt to, from our friends at Sorrentino's.
Yeah.
New this year, we're doing crossover players that played for both teams, both Buffalo this week and Seattle, okay? So I'm going to give you a hint. If you think you know it, throw out the name. You ready?
Okay.
Here we go. This electric company offensive guard went to Seattle in 1983 and 1984.
Reggie McKenzie.
Reggie.
Yeah,
Whoa, look at
Reggie.
you with Reggie McKenzie.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Here
An
we go.
old soul.
Yeah. Number 2, this tight end turned tackle and future Hall of Famer, Jason Peters.
Wow, he's hot.
If he's nice, he'll let you guys eat with him, because so far he's the only one eating at Sorrentino's going here.
Hey, what happened to everyone eats?
Yeah.
I'll give you each a chicken.
That's very nice of you. Okay, let's see if we can make it 3 for 3. This tackle during the Super Bowl runs opposite Will Wolford also ended up playing in Seattle.
Oh.
Who played left tackle for the Bills during the Super Bowl runs. He had a nickname. That might help you. I'll give you another hint. His number was 75. Anybody? Howard Ballard.
Ooh,
The House.
Yeah, the house. The house.
Ended up
Big man,
going to
big man.
Seattle. So, okay, 2 of 3 good enough
Yes.
to give you food. And if you wish to share,
I'll share.
He'll
fair.
give us the salad.
very nice.
Yeah.
Sam,
Still
good
have
to
to
see you.
wait
Thank
a
you,
sec.
man.
Yeah.
Mark, thank you. Evan, thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, coming up next, we'll break down the Bills and Seahawks, myself and Jared, when we return on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
I am so happy with my experience that I had at I Smile Spas today. Got my teeth professionally whitened. I have months of results in less than an hour. No pain, seriously not even a sting. They're not sensitive. You leave with a kit to continue your whitening. Absolutely incredible. I'm so happy I ever did this. I can't stop smiling.
Western New York. Smile again with confidence. Call 43SMILE today.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show final segment. We're talking about the Seahawks right behind us as the Bills go east to west. They've only been there a couple of times actually playing in Seattle and some pretty famous games. The McGahee game back in I think it was 04 with Bledsoe at quarterback, the cheeseburgers everyone's been talking about all week long. The Seahawks come in with wins Denver, New England, Miami, so you probably could have thought, well, they're not as good as their record. Then, of course, a very convincing 20-point win against Atlanta on the road. Their losses, the 49ers and the Lions, and a bad loss to the Giants, obviously, but still a really, really good team. Let's talk about them on offense in particular, and it starts, of course, with quarterback with Geno Smith.
Yeah, he's been extremely efficient this year. I like the way he's maneuvering in the pocket, finding the open guy, spreading around to everybody. They got a good tight end. They got 3 good wide receivers. This is not going to be an easy game. And they also have Kenneth Walker III. So these guys are definitely talented on offense. So we're going to have to come out a lot stronger than we did against Tennessee.
And it's interesting, too, in terms of the Seahawks, you know, if you don't know what their schedule looks like. So after the Bills, they have 3 divisional games. And think about their division, right? So think about the Rams at this point. They haven't been able to do anything. You don't really know when Puka Nacua is coming back. Cooper Kupp is on the trade block supposedly this week. We heard that was a possibility. You look at Arizona, who's been kind of all over the place, and the 49ers have been a massive disappointment, but they lose Ayuk for who knows how long, probably the rest of the year. And then they have Deebo Samuel, who's questionable, and McCaffrey's still on the bench. So what is San Francisco? So Seattle has to be thinking in this instance, even though it's Buffalo, I think a couple things. Number one, we want to be thought about as a player, not only in the NFC, but in the league.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity against a very good Bills team. That's number one. Number two is knowing that all these division games are coming up and knowing that you right now are the arguably most healthy and maybe the best team in your division. You got to keep that roll going, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have everything ahead of them. They are in a way better place this year than they thought they probably would be with San Francisco having these early struggles. So I think that it's going to be one of those games where if the Seahawks can come away with the victory, they're going to be feeling like they can be NFC contenders. If the Bills can put it on them a little bit, it might show that there's a little bit of a fake team going on there in Seattle. But so far, I've been very impressed by what I've seen. Yeah, you don't want to lose to the Giants, but they have a lot of talent on their roster.
I admittedly am hoping that Metcalf does not play. He's a guy that's averaging almost 20 yards a catch, and he does it so well. He's such a physical specimen. We mentioned Fant, really good year. He's got the same amount of catches as Dalton Kincaid. Kenneth Walker Jr.'s got 23 catches. Kincaid's got 24. He's got more catches, Kenneth Walker Jr., than James Cook does. I mean, he's a great dual threat in the backfield.
That guy's one of my favorite running backs to watch. He's so low to the ground, and he's so strong. He's elusive, and he's one of those elite running backs.
Defensively, versus the run, they give up about 5 yards per carry, and they've given up 20-plus yards on the ground 9 different times, have the Seahawk run defense. So maybe, again, let's feed Cook, let's feed Ray Davis, and let the run game take care of business this week.
Yeah, I've been waiting to talk about Ray Davis this whole time. I think that guy should get the ball more than Cook because I think last game he showed that he is extremely productive when he touches the ball. The Jets game and also the Titans game, I think Cook can still play a role in this team, but you know the story about Wally Pipp, I kind of want to see that with Ray Davis.
For sure. All right, let's get your prediction.
I think it's going to be a very close game. I've been going back and forth all day. I think that the game is going to start a little bit slow for the Bills because we're traveling west, but I think we're going to come back in the second half and win 23-21. And I think that Tyler Bass is going to play a good role in this game.
Beautiful. That'll make Rian Lindell feel very, very good if that happens for Buffalo. Look, I think they've had some issues, the Seahawks, in their offensive line, especially at right tackle. So for me, Russo has a big game, and the Bills' defense wins this game in a close one. I think the Bills' offense can move the football against Seattle's defense. But again, to your point, I think it's going to be close, but it's going to be some points on the board for sure. I'm going to take the Bills, even though early on in the season I had the Seahawks winning this game, I'm going to have the Bills taking this game with the hope that Metcalf doesn't play, and I'll have the Bills winning this one. Gosh, I love your score prediction. I'll go 23-20 instead of 23-21, so we're almost identical there. So great job as always. Thanks to the Mafia. Thanks to Dr. Todd Shatkin, Aesthetic Associates, Shatkin Dental, Sorrentinos and Myers as well, and of course you for watching. Of course, late afternoon kickoff out west, Bills and Seahawks coming up this weekend. Go Bills, and thanks for watching another edition of the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show.
In the Pocket is sponsored by Mini Dumpster Rental. Call 716-429-6362. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.